Kylian Mbappe at St James's Park. Who would have thought that 2 years ago? Who would have thought that ever? 16 million Dom here at Newcastle United, St James's Park. Just spoken to Eddie Howe, head of the match tomorrow. We'll be back just after this with a quick rundown, but I just wanted to show you, as we're here, PSG players in the background there. You might be able to spot Kylian Mbappe, he's somewhere on the screen there. But yeah, we'll be back just in a moment to talk about the press conference. So we are back to talk about the press conference in the Paris Saint-Germain training session, which you would have just witnessed on the previous clip. I think we'll start on Kylian Mbappe, Dom, the arguably the biggest news of the night, seeing a world-class player at St James's Park. As I said before, who would have thought that? But you noticed something in the warm-up about his gloves.
Well, yeah, I mean, Kylian Mbappe, he's gone on the record, you could say, saying Newcastle isn't warm. And yeah, it's a 15-minute warm-up, basically, the PSG players are doing in the centre circle. He's literally outside 15 minutes. Kylian Mbappe stops after about 5 minutes, asks for some gloves, puts them on. So I'm just like, Kylian Mbappe, one of the best players in the world, but you feel like a cold Wednesday night at St James's Park, under the lights, you can get into these. I mean, Kylian Mbappe, it's going to take some stopping, and maybe I'm reading too much into a player asking for gloves, but come on. No. Come on, Kylian.
I think that means he's probably not going to sign here anytime soon.
No.
Dreams of Kylian Mbappe on Tyneside. As we'd seen from the clip you were referring to there, Don, I was Antoine Griezmann, shall I say, on FM, and he signed Kylian Mbappe for Newcastle, and Kylian Mbappe made reference to the Tyneside weather, and he's obviously feeling that tonight. Gloves into 5 minutes into a session, quite funny, but honestly, you might not find that funny, but anyway, it made us chuckle.
We've wasted 90 seconds.
Yeah, we have. So we should probably move on to something a bit more newsy. So yeah, the Paris Saint-Germain players are training as we speak. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to film any longer than 15 minutes to warm up. So we've came into a TV room, new territory for this. I've never been here before, but we've got a nice backdrop there, the Champions League backdrop. I suppose leads on to the press comments, the other backdrop in the other room. Eddie Howe was first up. Yeah, Dom, what was the key talking points?
I mean, initially, as always, injuries. Callum Wilson, a major doubt. Eddie Howe said, as we speak, he won't play tomorrow. Joe Linton, a late call made on him. Sven Botman won't play tomorrow. And Sandro Tonali, question asked about him because he did miss part of the training session at the training ground this morning, and he said Sandro Tonali's fine. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of the injury news. Eddie Howe obviously asked quite a bit about Kylian Mbappe and facing a team like PSG, and Eddie Howe leaned on the fact Newcastle have kept 5 clean sheets in a row going into this game, and he said, look, we're being solid and we'll have to be very solid again against the best player in the world, he put it. So yeah, it's going to be another big test for Newcastle, arguably their biggest test of the season so far, barring maybe that trip to Manchester City. So yeah, Eddie Howe, what else did he say? He talked about the atmosphere, and it's Newcastle's first Champions League home game in over 20 years, and the crowd being right up for it, and him being very excited to see what the crowd will do. We've had glimpses of the Wall Flags display. We won't spoil it or anything like that, but it's going to be some occasion. We saw the lights, the drones last night, and what a sort of spectacle that was. And you see in St James's Park, we're literally in basically a cupboard in St James's Park. We've got the Champions League logos here. It's all over the place, and I thought it was quite poetic that almost where Sports Direct logos used to be plastered all over St James's Park, those are gone. And it's Champions League logos now, and it just feels right, and it's good to see. And yeah, Eddie Howe wasn't the only person we spoke to as well. Kieran Trippier as well, and Lucas Hernandez and Luis Enrique from PSG as well. Which Luis Enrique in particular, spoke very highly of Newcastle United.
Yeah, he did. So I'd actually forgot. This probably shows how young I am, but I actually forgot that he played here. I think it was 26 years ago now. Of course, that night when Newcastle won 3-2, Tino Asprilla hat-trick, the night we all talk about, Luis Enrique was actually on the score sheet for Barcelona that day. So he spoke about the experience that day. He said his memory's a little bit faded on it, given it was so long ago, but looking at now, spoke so highly of St James's Park. The supporters called them passionate, and also referred to St James's Park as a hostile atmosphere as well. So him and his players are expecting that tomorrow. I'm sure they will get it. To see this ground will be rocking tomorrow. You can feel the anticipation, the excitement building already on social media. That Salah show yesterday, or if you want to call it, beautiful, unbelievable to see from the skyline on Tyneside. So you can feel the anticipation building, and I'm sure Paris Saint-Germain and the players will feel that. But no, he was very complimentary. He spoke about Newcastle being a top class team. I think the term he used that was similar words to that effect.
Yeah. So it was a translator, so it might have been lost in translation. But.
So it just shows that Newcastle, PSG aren't underestimating Newcastle. He actually said that Newcastle were the pot 4 team that no one wanted. So he's not underestimating this tomorrow. He knows how difficult this will be. And let's hope Newcastle can spring a surprise.
We spoke to Kieran Trippier as well, and I think a lot of the questions there were based around facing up against Kylian Mbappe. He's going to be the player who most likely will be tasked with keeping him quiet. And he spoke about how he first came up against him on his debut, Kylian Mbappe's debut for Monaco in the Europa League against Spurs back in, I think, 2015 it was. So yeah, he's come up against him a few times. He's got the better of him a few times, Kylian Mbappe, over Kieran Trippier. But I asked Kieran Trippier, after 4 assists in his last 2 games, 5 clean sheets in a row for Newcastle, does he feel in almost the form of his life heading into this game? And he said, yeah, he does. He thinks every time he's had a setback in his career, he's bounced back stronger, and even at 33 now, he feels like he's playing the best football of his career. So if there's one right back in world football at the moment, who you probably want tasked to stop, as Eddie Howe says, the best player in the world, I don't think you can go too far wrong with Kieran Trippier. We're maybe saying different come sort of 10 o'clock Wednesday night, but Newcastle do go into this game with plenty of confidence, as we say, in good form, and it will be a really good test and a really, really good occasion. I think anyone lucky enough to be here at St James's Park tomorrow night is in for a special night, and hopefully Eddie Howe's team can put on a performance to match that. And we'll be back, myself and Jordan, joined by our fellow Geordie journo Liam Kenedy, and we'll be talking about it then. So we'll see you there. But in the meantime, if you like what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that, and we'll keep producing this content. And we'll see you back at St James's Park, back here tomorrow night as Newcastle take on PSG.